Hello everybody, welcome to the More Web Authoring video where we walk through creating an ePortfolio shell essentially, which you can be updated later as you move through the course using a web template. Now we did this in the course webinar this week, and there's also an abbreviated version of that video using Dreamweaver in the course materials. But here we're going to use SeaMonkey. Now SeaMonkey is a free tool. As we talked about before. One of the issues with SeaMonkey though is it doesn't really work well with cascading style sheets and doesn't have that sort of WYSIWYG intuitive interface that Dreamweaver has when you're dealing with designing CSS and modifying the cascading style sheets and the different styles on your site. So you have to know a little bit of code or be able to read the code and modify accordingly. So we'll touch on a few of those today, but we won't go into it too much just for time's sake. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now I've downloaded SeaMonkey and opened it up. Now this is the SeaMonkey browser, so just like Chrome or Firefox. We're not going to use that. We're going to use their Composer. So we go to Window and we open Composer up, and we get this very basic kind of interface. And you can see up here you have your new open save, your publish, your browse, your prints, your links, your images, and then you have your formatting tools here. And then within some of the, when you click on those, you get various options as well. You also have your tools and your table options, your formatting options, your inserting options, a number of options up here as well. So what I've done is I've kind of done the same thing. So when that I did with the ePortfolio. So let me actually delete this real quick. So I'm going to use the same template as I used with Dreamweaver just for consistency's sake. So a couple things. One, I'm just going to drag BizChrome. That's the template that we use. And again, there are tons of templates you can use in the course, tons of resources and that sort of thing. So feel free to use any other ones. This one's just one that I'm kind of using for consistency, so y'all can see the same thing with different tools. And then like I did last night, I went ahead and collected resources for the ePortfolio. So first thing I'm going to do is going to call this ePort SeaMonkey, just so you know which one's which. So this is the one I did with Dreamweaver, and then this is the one I'm doing with SeaMonkey. And then I'm just going to drag those resources in there, and I've organized these in a nice, neat manner. So I have my site images, I have project images. I could combine those if I want, but I like to be able to go in and really make immediate changes or add additions if I need to. So if I wanted to add projects or those kind of things, I can, or project images, I could add them directly in there, and it's easier to kind of manage, you know, a few images versus hundreds of images across a whole site. Then we have our licensing, and then here we have our CSS page. I'm going to open that right now just for reference, and I'm going to have it here, and I'm going to pull it up as we do various things. And you can see here that all CSS is kind of formatting code. So we have different things here. We have heading 2, 3, and 4. It gives us the margin bottom and then the color. And H3 is gives you the size. So you can see here H3 and H4 are the same size. H2 is a little bit bigger. It's a 1.9. So as we look at the various characteristics or trait, or 1.5, I'm sorry. As we look at the characteristics of the traits of the various items on the web pages, we can very quickly go in here and modify these. And we'll look at examples of these as we kind of walk through the creation process. But you'll notice here that just like last night and working with what we did when we created a site from scratch, essentially we created our index page and got it to look like we wanted it to, and then we simply save as each of the file names, and then we go in and add the content. So we're going to kind of do that same approach tonight. We're going to get the index page as much like we want it as we can, and then we're just going to go file save as courses, file save as projects, file save as index, file save as resume. Just so, and then we'll tweak those individual pages later, but I do want to kind of walk you through just getting that shell set up, and then later on in the course you can go in and modify it as you want. So we are going to open up the index page in SeaMonkey, in our ePort SeaMonkey folder. So I'm going to go up here to open, And I'm going to go to the desktop, go to 6507 projects, import SeaMonkey, and index. And this is our BizChrome page. No big deal, nothing big here. So we can just go in and start modifying things. Richard Hartshorn, ePort home. I want to do that. I can double click on this, and you'll see the link location is asterisk. I'm just going to call it index.html because that's what it's ultimately going to be called. Click OK. Now services, I'm just going to real quickly go in and change this to projects. And then I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to just link that to projects.html. It's very important that you remember the names because that's what you're going to be calling those files. So I'm going to go to blog here real quick. So I'm going to change this to courses and do the link because it turned gray. So I'm just going to call it courses or coursework or whatever you want to call it. Okay, it goes with blue. Portfolio, I'm going to change this one to links. And just double click on it. Whoops. Okay. Just select that one. Go to link and change that to links. And again, I talked about what you can do with some of these pages. So if you have questions about those, you can review last night's webinar and then reach out to me about individual pages. And then this one was resume. So this page is going to link to resume.html and click OK. And then contact, we are going to change to an email link. So if I click down, well, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go mail to : which is the code for email at ucf.edu. And one of the requirements of your page is that you have an email link on all pages. Well, having a contact link will modify that. Now I'm going to go up here to ePort Home real quick. I want to modify this color. So I'm going to click on the colors here, and I'm going to make this just kind of a little bit muted gray to kind of make it stand out a little bit. Maybe need a little bit more than that. So let me actually make it sort of it's not going to look good, but let's go with this just to make it stand out a bit. Okay, so I'm getting there. So I'm gonna change this image banner now. If I double click on this, what I see is it's linking to a file in the images folder called pic01.jpg. Now I'm just going to change that file, and I'm change the alternate text. I do want to make note of the dimensions here because I want my dimensions to be relatively or similar to this. So 1116 by 216. So I'm going to choose my file, and I've already kind of picked one out. I knew it was going to be a banner type image. So I picked this UCF fountain banner, and you see it's 1026 by 339. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the dimensions tab. I'm going to click a custom size. I'm going to unconstrain, and I'm going to go 1116 by 216. Just go back to location here for the alternate text. I'm going to call it UCF fountain, and I'm going to click OK. And now you can see it kind of fits nicely. If I wanted to tweak that, maybe make it a little smaller, maybe make it go out a little bit bigger, I can do that here, or I could just double click on it and modify the dimensions there. So I'm kind of getting my page to where I want it to go, want it to look like. Now, if I click here in this navigation banner, now we use tables in our first website that we created. Now tables aren't good web design. What web design uses are these things called divs, and divs are kind of like table cells but more updated, more user-friendly for browsers and that sort of thing. They're just kind of think of them as divisions or dividers of the cell, so of the page. So when I click on, if I click up here in the navigation menu, I go to my HTML tags, you can kind of see little stuff there, but the source is where I really want to kind of highlight. And this is where I think they could do a better job of, like, when you have text highlighted, it would be nice if they had a split view option, or or it highlights the area that you have selected. So like if I select welcome to BizChrome and I go to view HTML source, I would want welcome to BizChrome to be highlighted here so I can modify that. And it's not, so then you have to go in and kind of modify content and really look for stuff. So here, for example, the div ID in my banner, it says site images, UCF banner.jpg, alt is UCF fountain. Width is 116 by 216. Now this is in my, I'm sorry, this is in my, yeah, this is in my CSS. So, okay. I'm sorry, this is my HTML code. So, but what we can do is we can see that here in the div ID navigation, the A stands for is hyperlinks. So ahref, when you see this, is a hyperlink. So in the navigation banner, if I wanted to modify the link color or the link structure, I could go to my CSS page, my cascading style sheets page, which is right here, style.css. And if you remember from the webinar last night, essentially styles are like in Word documents when you have heading 1s and you define what that heading 1 looks like. It's bold and font size 12, and Garamond font style. And then when you change that, maybe you want to change it to Calibri, then when you change H1, it changes all of your H1s that's all of your text that are H1 styles in your entire document. Well, that's the same thing that goes on here. So here, when I look at A is all links. You can see that the text decoration is underlined. So all links are underlined, and all links are this color here. When I go down to my nav, well, let me just look at a couple things here. If I go down to my banner, you can see that the position is relative, padding 32 pixels, height 216, 1116. So that div, that banner divider, it's not a divider, well, it's a divider. Yeah, the banner divider has these characteristics here. So if I want to modify those, I could. Box 1, which we'll look at in a minute, is 1116 pixels, doesn't really have any other characteristics to change. Box 2, you'll notice, is 550, and box 3 is as well. We'll look at those in a second and see what that means. But if I wanted to modify the pixel width of box 2, I can do that in this style document. I can just come back here, make the change, and then file save, and we'll do that in a minute. The content color is going to be 26262. H2, H3, and H4 in the content block, so headings in that content. So links in the content are going to be this kind of, are black. I think 262626 is black. And then H2, H2, 3, and H4 are going to be that same black color as well. So if I go back over here to my normal view, you can see here that the font is this gray color, but the H2, H3, and H4. So if I highlight this, let's see if it gives me the H tag. It doesn't. Okay, so yeah, you can see here that this is H3 because of the tag here. You can see here this is H2. You can see this is strong, which strong is a coding for a bold. And then A, you can see here is a link. So you can see by the A that's that blue color. And then you can see here, this is div, and if I click on the div, let's see if it tells me what it is. It doesn't tell me the name of this one. But this is box 3, and then this one up here is box 2. So watch what happens if I go to my style document real quick. And I'm going to go to box 2, and I'm going to make it 1116 pixels. I'm going to hit enter, oops, move that back. And then I'm going to file, save. I'm going to go up here, save. Let's see if that changes it. I think you have to save it. But what will happen is it'll change this width of this document, of this box 2, in in all the pages throughout the site. So I don't need these pages. So I'm going to actually just go ahead and delete them. So let me go to my normal view. And so let's see if I can see what this is. So, no. But you can look in here and see where enum dignissum is, and you can look in the source code and then look for enum dignissum. So it's down here, enum dignissum. You can see that's in box 3. And so here I could go ahead and modify various, I wouldn't modify characteristics here, but I can just go and delete these. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete box 2 as well. And just go back to my normal view. And you'll see, and I could just delete those on the pages as well. So let me see if edit, undo. Didn't do it. But I could edit those on the main page as well, and it'd be fine. So I'm going to say, welcome to my ePortfolio. And I'm going to double click this image, and I'm going to include a picture of me because it's my ePortfolio. So I'm going to go to ePort SeaMonkey. I'm going to go to Site Images and click Hartshorn ePort. And it's very important here. See, this is 220 by 196, so we don't have to go with that, but we can go with something similar. Say hartshorn pick, and I'm just going to click OK. And that's way too big there, and you can see it's clearly copyrighted, so we don't want to use this. But I'm just doing this for demo purposes. And I'm simply going to hold Shift down because Shift will keep the dimensions the same. I'm just going to drag it up. And you know, that looks good. And then I say this site, blah 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 blah. And if that was bold or something, or if I wanted to include a link, I would do that and modify accordingly. So I'm good to go. Real quickly here, I don't like that blue color. So if I want to do nav links, what I'm going to do, that's one thing I'm going to modify. But let's go ahead and just save this page all around. But let me go to my, let me see, format, page title and properties, because this is something that's important. So see how it says BizChrome, that's the title of the template. So I'm just going to go Richard Hartshorn, ePortfolio, home, and then I'm going to click save. And now I'm going to save this index. Okay, so now I'm just going to go File. I'm done with my general structure. I don't need to modify anything. I need to keep this here for the licensing. So I'm going to go File, Save As. And then I'm just going to call it projects, and it got to be the same exact page. So it's going to be in SeaMonkey, save. So I'm just going to real quickly make this projects. I'm just going to get rid of ePort so it doesn't go down. I could change this font size if I wanted, but I'm just going to leave it like this. Welcome to my projects page, and then I'm just going to insert an image here. So insert image. The first image is going to be in my project images, and I'm just going to do Atom Game. Click OK. I'm going to call it Atom Game. And notice the 250 by 226, so we want to keep something like that. Click OK. I don't know why that's not coming up, but I might just go Atom Game, hit enter, this game, blah 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 blah. Let me redo this. Choose file. Let's do the plain game. Actual size. We're gonna do plain game first. I don't know why those aren't showing up, but they will. They should later. So then I'm just going to make my link. So I'm going to go insert, whoops, cancel, insert link, and I'm going to link it to the plain game. So it's in SeaMonkey, it's in projects, and it's model play, and it won't let me link to it. That doesn't make any sense. Choose, let's see. Link, choose file, projects, There we go. I don't know why HTML files were selected, but there we go. And then I'm going to hit enter a few times and then go down here, hit image, and I'm going to call this, that's tooltip, okay, reviewer video. And again, I want to go that kind of 226y kind of dimensions. I'm going to choose the file, go to project images, reviewer video, open. And this is 1277 by 691, so I'm going to make it much smaller than that. Custom size, I'm going to make it like 250. Just see what happens with that. This is 250 as well, so maybe even just drag this out a little bit to just kind of make them relatively the same size. So you can see the image is there. I don't know why it's not showing up on the page. Let's see what happens when we click preview. Oh, it's still not showing up. So let's click here. The alternate is reviewer video. I'm going to click here, maybe go up a little bit. Actually, I think I like having the image below the text, so I'm going to cut this in between. There we go, something like that, and then go reviewer video, and then actually I'm going to move this down below as well. In this game, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then reviewer video, maybe even make this like a heading 2, so I could change this. I could format it as a style. I could change the text style, or I could go into the code and make this like an H2. I'm not going to do that now. We'll do that in a future video. But here we just go in this game, blah blah blah. The video, I'm going to insert my image, and this one right here is 250 by 180. So insert image. We're going to go reviewer vid, choose file, reviewer video PNG, and then we're just going to make it 250. And it kind of gets a similar type feel, but we would kind of want to play around with these to get the look, because even if the numbers aren't exactly the same, we do want them to look the same. So then we'll go link to the video. We're going to choose file, again, projects. Notice here how it says nothing's option. So because when I go to options, I want to select all files, select this video here. I could go to advanced edit, and there's nothing here that I want to do, so we'll go back here, cancel, and yes, we should be good there. Click OK, and then below that, in this video, blah 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 blah. So it's kind of a start to my projects page. I would definitely go in and tweak this a little bit, the look and feel of it, but it's a good start for it. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Well, actually, let me go to my format, page titles and properties, and it's called ePortfolio Home, so we're going to call it projects. Click OK. So now I'm not going to add content to the rest of them, but I am going to make the basic changes. So, and I also want to change this this blue link color to something that stands out more, because that's terrible. You can barely read them. So I'll show you how to do that, and then this video will be done. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call it courses.html. I think I'm going to have to change that one. So I'm going to go save here. I'm going to change this to courses. Change it to that yellow color. Okay. And then go to Format, Pages and Properties. Change it to Courses. Okay. Save. I'm going to go to Links. Change it to that yellow color. Go to Format, Page Titles and Properties. Links. And then lastly, I'm going to do this just so I don't have to change that color. Resume. I'm going to go to Format, Page Titles and Properties. Resume. Click OK. And then I would go in on each page and say, welcome to my resume page. And we'll talk more about you can go and look at the webinar from last night to see the requirements for that. So I'm going to save that. So now I'm going to go in, I want to change these links. So these are if I go to the page source, or the source here, in the nav tab, let's see if I can find it. Here we go. In the nav div, What you see here is, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for nav A, because A is the link in the nav tab. So when I go to my text document here, I'm looking for nav A. So I have a hover, I'm looking for the nav div, and it should be down here below, kind of in alphabetical order. Yep. So nav, and then I have nav A, and it says text decoration none, lowercase, and then FFF. So I'm going to change this to white. FFF, I'm not sure what that is. I'm just going to go ahead and just say nav A is white. Let's see if this, and then I'm going to nav underline, list style none, don't need to worry about that, don't need to worry about that. So this should work. So I'm going to go ahead and save this style sheet. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay. Save changes to resume, save. Okay. So I think let me go to SeaMonkey here. So I see I have courses, I have index, I have projects. So let me get rid of this. .html and courses, index, projects. Where's resume? So I'm missing one, courses, index, project. It looks like I'm missing links and resume. So we're going to just open that back up. Composer. And I'm just going to open up the index page. It doesn't really matter which one. And I'm going to go to, let's call this links. I'm going to go format, page titles and properties. We're going to call this links. I'm not sure where they went. And then I'm going to go file, save as, and I'm just going to call it links, and in ePort SeaMonkey, click save. So now it should, there it is. And maybe I'll just go links page, just to make it stand out a little bit. Delete this. Save it again, and then I'm going to go to resume and resume page, format, page titles, and this title is just what appears in the web browser, so you want to give each page a distinct page title. And so we want to change this one to resume, so go file, save as, resume. I think what I did is I didn't save the name as correct. So I do want to go in, I'm going to go back into my style page here. And I want to go to nav real quick and make sure it changed it to red or white. Okay. So we should be with white on the links for the nav items. So now I'm going to simply upload this to the web and test it out and see what it did. So I'm going to open CyberDuck. I'm going to open my connection to CyberDuck, and it goes to rhartshorn.com. The username is docrh@rhartshorn.com, and then the password is and we're going to connect. Okay, let's see what we got here. Cancel. Alright, let's try it again. Oh, I probably should learn how to spell my name. rhartshorn.com, docrh@rhartshorn. That should work. Continue, and we should be good. Yep, so there's what I have up there already. So I'm simply going to take ePort SeaMonkey. It's going to say unsecure connection. I'm going to go continue, and it's logging in and it's uploading the work. Almost finished. So once it's done, I'm going to open up a web browser and we're going to find any of the pages. So let's see once it's up there. You see here, I kind of did this a while ago, but I modified it last night, so I have this some other stuff here, so I could actually get rid of this if I wanted. Okay, so SeaMonkey looks to be done. So now let's pull it up on the web. So as I mentioned previously, we're going to walk through okay. So your URL is always going to start out as rhartshorn.com/fall-2022/ your username. My username without the @rhartshorn part. And then, so this is sort of your desktop, your virtual desktop, if you think about it. So you're always going to type this to access your server space. And then from there, anything here that you want to see, you just type out with folders separated by slashes until you get to the final file that you want to see. So here I want to go into eport-SeaMonkey, and then inside that I want to go find courses.html. Let's just do that one. And we do it. And notice here, and I mess up with the home button title there, but I could just go in and delete that in the courses page. Notice how these are white and they were blue before, so I made that change. Notice how these links are black. I was telling you that they were black, but they were coming up blue in the interface, so trust yourself on this. So if I click this, it's going to open it. That's a flash file, so it's going to open it down there. If I open this, it's going to open it that's a video there. So I have those links work. If I roll over my contact link and look in the lower left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, you'll see mail to, so that's going to work. If I click on resume, it goes to resume. If I go to links, it goes to links. If I go to courses, I didn't change this one to courses, and you can see up here it goes to resume. So I need to change that in the courses page. So projects page is all messed up too. I don't know why they didn't change. And then the home page is going to go to index.html. So I think what happened was I must have saved them somewhere that was not right, because those should not be. Those were. Let me see if I can find something here. Anyway, but that's kind of the gist of it. I must have missaved these someplace. But if you save those all to the SeaMonkey file folder, oops, wrong one. Then you can easily go in and modify. So here, for example, this is my index page, so it's good. I go to my projects page. I would just need to click here, open projects. So go to SeaMonkey Composer, window, Composer, open. I'm just going to do this very quickly. Projects page, open. I'm not worried about this blue color. I might just go up here and go plain game. Y'all get what I did earlier, so I'm not going to redo that. But then I would just, and then go to my format, page style and color. Okay, file to save it, and I'm going to go ahead and do file, open file. I'm going to open my links page real quick. Open it. Okay, so that one's good. Links, that one's good. File, open courses. I think that's the one that had the U in it, so I just delete that. Courses, give it the color. Okay, if I wanted, I could kind of copy this real quick, cut courses, go to my format, page title and properties, courses, okay, save, and then I'm going to go to my projects page here and I'm just going to paste this, save, and I can't remember what all I made changes to, so instead of being like worrying about it, I'm just going to upload the entire thing. And so it's going to say, it should say, okay, you have this already existing. So what do you want to do with it? I could overwrite it. I could resume, rename existing, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to overwrite it. And if I don't get that, then I'm putting it in the wrong place. A lot of times people will put their new stuff inside the folder, and then you're creating this layered kind of thing, which is very problematic. So now it's working on it, and when it's done, I'm just going to go to my index page here, refresh, see, is it done yet? Still got a little bit to go. Nine seconds. Okay, and 2 seconds, 1 second, and it's a long second. Okay, we're done. So now I can refresh everything, go to my projects page, playing game. I don't know why those so I would go find out, troubleshoot those images. I have an idea why they're not working. I would check on the links. Yep, that's the problem. Yeah, I'll fix this later, but what we're doing here, if I scroll over it, see how it says file, users, Richard, desktop, blah, blah, blah. So it's going, I linked it to the files on my desktop, not the files in my, it's linked to the wrong file, so we need to get rid of that. But we'll do that at a later one. I go to courses, we're good here. I go to links, we're good here. Resume, good here, and contact, I scroll over. So everything's working except for those links, which we can come back in the projects page. We'll come back later and do that. But what's great about style sheets, and so if you do want to spend a little bit of time learning code and everything, is I can change everything across this entire site very easily. So I can change link colors. I can change what these headings look like. So all the headings, across the entire site are going to be modified. I don't like the color of this link because it blends in too much. So maybe I want to make it a different color. Or maybe I don't like this background, this brick kind of background. So I can go through and just with one little quick change in this style document, let me see, this right here, in the style document, I can change anything and it applies it to everything across the site. So if you're working with a client and they go, I really like that, but let's see what this nav banner here looks like in a mauve. And you can change it to mauve real quickly and it does it for the whole site. Or change the color of the size of the font or the style of the font or things like that. All can be done very quickly just by going in here and figuring out where the individual items are. So if, like in my header or in the copyright, the color of the copyright is 3D, 3D, 3D. So if I wanted to change that, the link down here, this is 3D, 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 I could do that very easily. So just knowing a little bit about what these elements are going to be very useful. So content, H2, H3, H4, these are your header 2, header 3, and header 4 in the content div, which is this main div down here where the content is. So you can kind of modify the H2, H3, and H4 characteristics through all this 262626, which is black. You can modify that very easily. And you see here the content color for links is black. So you can scroll over. It does give you a little bit of characteristics of what you're looking at. So this helps. This is useful in like trying to figure out what part of the screen is. So box 2, maybe you don't know where that is, but that one doesn't have any colors. Banner, if you look at the background of banner, it's white. So you can kind of play around with these things, and you can see here behind this image here, this is the banner. It's white. So the background color of nav, the nav tab up here, is going to be black. So if I go down to nav and I go to background, go 000, it's black. You can see by rolling over it, you see the black pops up. So that is SeaMonkey. It's a little trickier than Dreamweaver. Again, you're only required to do the using your server space in your website for the shell using the server space I provide you, and one of the web editors. You can use Dreamweaver or SeaMonkey Composer or another one, but it can't be one of those cloud-based tools. So, but moving forward, if you want to continue learning CSS and some of the power of this, then I encourage you to use either SeaMonkey or Dreamweaver. But you are also open to use cloud-based tools, of which there are examples in the course materials. There are also additional sites that provide resources of templates, free templates, and we're actually going to get into next time dynamic templates, which actually modify the user experience based on the device that they use. So if they open your site on a tablet versus a laptop versus a full desktop versus a mobile device, you don't have to do anything in the coding. The template and the web editor will modify the experience in the site based on the user's device, which is pretty cool. Okay, that's it for now. I hope you found this useful, and I will be talking to you in the near future.